Some of the prostitutes from fake stream media gathered outside on a hot, sunny day on the White House Rose Garden, for some reason wearing their masks and continuing to practice social distancing while they were listening to Trump's remarks on the coronavirus. Now, I managed to compress this hour-long speech into about just a little over 12 minutes, but I want you to tell me what you think the takeaway from this speech is, and if you think Bill Gates would be pleased.
In our ongoing effort to rapidly develop and manufacture a coronavirus vaccine, a key feature of our reopening plan is the largest and most ambitious testing system in the world, by far. America is now conducting close to 350,000 tests per day, an unthinkable number just a short while ago. Another essential pillar of our strategy to keep America open is the development of effective treatments and vaccines as quickly as possible. Vanquish the virus, developing the first vaccine candidate. The virus is to develop a vaccine, not even knowing what we were up against. To achieve the fastest ever by far launch of a vaccine trial, this new virus, this very vicious virus. More than 100 potential treatments, more than 130 therapies for active trials. That's what we have right now. And another 450 are in the planning stage. $10 billion to support a medical research effort without parallel. Additional funding for vaccine development, a momentous medical initiative. It's called Operation Warp Speed. It's ventilators or testing. Its objective is to finish developing and then to manufacture and distribute a proven coronavirus vaccine as fast as possible. Again, we'd love to see if we could do it prior to the end of the year. Accelerating the development of diagnostics and breakthrough therapies. The full resources of the United States government and the excellence and precision of the United States military. We have the military totally involved. The military, and that really talking about the logistics. We get it, when we get it, that means the logistics, getting it out so that everybody can take it. Roughly 100 vaccine candidates. Through Operation Warp Speed, the federal government is providing unprecedented support and resources to safely expedite the trials. While we accelerate the final phases of vaccine trials, Operation Warp Speed will be simultaneously accelerating its manufacturing process. In other words, we're getting ready so that when we get the good word that we have the vaccine, we have the formula, we have what we need, we're ready to go, as opposed to taking years to gear up. We're gearing up. We're gearing up on the assumption that we'll have in the near future, relatively near future, a vaccine. To manufacture a vaccine, and this can delay vaccines availability to the public, the federal government will invest in manufacturing all of the top vaccine candidates. That means they better come up with a good vaccine because we're ready to deliver it. Enable us to begin providing Americans with a proven vaccine the day our scientists say, we're ready, we got it. These vaccines will manufacture that we're going to be focused on and manufacturing. They're all going to be right here in the USA. We want to get to the solution. Distribute these life-saving treatments at scale. So we're talking about massive numbers so that millions of Americans will quickly have access to them. The vaccine. Glass vials, needles, syringes, and more. We'll have everything right on hand, ready to go. When a vaccine is ready, the U.S. government will deploy every plane, truck, and soldier required to help distribute it to the American people as quickly as possible. And you hear that outside, that beautiful sound. Those are truckers that are with us all the way. They're protesting in favor of President Trump as opposed to against. There's hundreds of trucks out there, and that's the sign of love, not the sign of your typical protest. So I want to thank our great truckers. They like me and I like them. We're working on something together. For the most aggressive vaccine project in history. There's never been a vaccine project anywhere in history like this. Vaccine or no vaccine, we're back. And we're starting the process. And in many cases, they don't have vaccines. And a virus or a flu comes and you fight through it. We haven't seen anything like this in 100 and some odd years, 1917. But you fight through it. And people sometimes, I guess, we don't know exactly yet, but it looks like they become immune, or at least for a short while and maybe for life. But you fight through it. But what we'd like to do, if we can, is the vaccine. I think we're going to be successful in doing it, and hopefully by the end of the year. Where Steve is there, and I'm sure our Secretary of the Treasury, I think you feel the same way, Steve. So, and thank you for your good work, really good work. And it's not finished yet, is it? I want to thank Steve Mnuchin and everybody. I think we're going to come up with a solution to a problem like this country probably has never seen before.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. With a coronavirus vaccine that we will be able to deliver a few 100 million doses of vaccine by the end of 2020, progressing and accelerating development of medicines for those who unfortunately already caught the virus, as well as optimize the diagnostic tests.
One of the great advantages that we have as a military is our ability to do logistical and sustainment operations afar. We're just going to apply those capabilities to this mission. This mission is about defeating the enemy. We will defeat the enemy.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership of this historic effort. Your vision for Operation Warp Speed, setting a goal of a vaccine by January 2021, will be one of the great scientific and humanitarian accomplishments in human history. Dr. Slaoui is arguably the world's most experienced and successful vaccine developer, responsible for some of the major recent breakthroughs in vaccines, for therapeutics, for diagnostics. And Congress has provided nearly $10 billion explicitly for this kind of research and development effort. Operation Warp Speed, coordinating vaccine, therapeutic, and countermeasure development. This week, HHS and DoD already announced new contracts to manufacture hundreds of millions of needles and syringes here in America for distributing an eventual vaccine. The President's efforts will ensure not only that we get vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics faster, but that we get large donations of the eventual products so they're affordable for the American people. An historic endeavor.
Bold and historic initiative. Winning matters, and we will deliver, by the end of this year, a vaccine at scale to treat the American people and our partners abroad of this fight against the coronavirus.
We think we're going to have a vaccine in the pretty near future, and if we do, we're going to really be a big step ahead, and if we don't, we're going to be like so many other cases where you had a problem come in, it'll go away at some point, it'll go away. It may flare up and it may not flare up. We'll have to see what happens, but if it does flare up, we're going to put out the fire, and we'll put it out quickly and efficiently. We've learned a lot. But again, you know, it's not solely vaccine-based. Other things have never had a vaccine and they go away. So I don't want people to think that this is all dependent on vaccine, but a vaccine would be a tremendous thing. And I will tell you, therapeutically or therapeutics, what's going on there is equally as impressive. We have some things happening. You know, we have the remdesivir from Gilead. We have other things that are very good. I think that a lot is happening therapeutically. I can't say that it's relatively speaking, equal to what's going on with vaccines, but I think it's doing very well, very well. So therapeutics are a big factor. Whoever gets it, we think it's great. We're going to work with them. They're going to work with us. Likewise, if we get it, we're going to be working with them. It's a great test. It's a very quick test, and it can always be very rapidly double-checked. If you're testing positive or negative, it can always be double-checked. But it's a very good test, very portable, very quick.
Vaccine for everyone?
Excuse me, you're going to have to remove it. You can't hear through your...
Do you mean a fully approved vaccine for the entire general public, or a partially approved vaccine for emergency use? Sorry, step near the mic. Sorry, let me repeat that. Now I'm closer to the mic. Do you mean a fully approved vaccine for everyone, the full public, or a partially approved vaccine with emergency use?
No, we're looking for a full vaccine for everyone that wants to get it. Not everybody's going to want to get it. But we're looking at a full vaccine. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, Will.
Please. Yes.
So the answer is yes. We're working for a fully approved vaccine, but we'll also use the tools we have, for instance, emergency use authorization as appropriate. We use all of our regulatory tools to bring vaccine available for the entire American population by January.
Okay, and then Mr. President, could you just clarify, why are some of you wearing a mask and why are some of you not wearing a mask?
We've all been tested. I've been tested. We've all been tested, and we're quite a distance away, and we're outdoors. So I gave them the option. They could wear it or not. So you can blame it on me, but I gave them the option. We could wear it or not.
Would a U.S. vaccine be available to the rest of the world at an affordable rate, at a low cost?
The last thing anybody's looking for is profit in terms of what we're doing. Every company, they want to get it out. We've had that. We've had a great experience on Remdesivir. We've had a great experience on everything we've done. People are looking to come up with the answer. They're not looking in, typically they're saying, oh, how much am I going to make? How much? They really have been. There's been a great spirit on this. They want to get to the bottom of it, and I think we'll be able to do that. Fortunate enough to have a vaccine, it'll get out fairly and quickly.
Thank you, Mr. President. If public confidence is the main thing of getting people back to work and back to schools and so on, is this even possible without a vaccine? How would it be possible without a vaccine? Public confidence.
Well, I think a very big factor, frankly, is that very few people are, we read about all of the very sad, very tragic. I've lost friends. Many of us have lost friends. We read about that and we see that, and that's what the news covers. But that's a very small percentage. It's a very, very small percentage. I say it all the time. It's a tiny percentage. The vast majority, many people don't even know they have it. They have it, or they have sniffles, or they have a very minor sign, and they recover. Not only recover, they probably have immunity, whether it's short-term, long-term, but they have probably immunity. And I think people have to understand that. That's why I think the schools should be back in the fall. I think that lots of things should happen. I don't think that you should have 70-year-old teachers back yet. They should wait till everything is gone. I don't think you should have a professor that's 65 and has diabetes or has a bad heart back necessarily, or somebody that's older than that. But we want to see our schools back. We want to see our country start to work again. We created the greatest economy in the history of the world, and we're going to do it again. And you're going to see that next year, and it's going to start. You'll start to see it in the fourth quarter, maybe even before that. Yeah. I'd like to see numbers lower. I'd like to see no death at all. One death is too many. This should have never happened.
Guys, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel, grab one of these hard-hitting, conversation-starting shirts from the shirt store. Your purchase helps me produce more content. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.
Deaf and dumb thespians take the silent stages. With their cobweb throats, they can't sing any notes, so the audience begins dispersing. The actors get pissed, they start cursing. They're tired of rehearsing. They're ready to do the damn show. They're ready to go. You know what I mean? Fuck the quarantine. Fuck COVID-19. Fuck a fucking vaccine. Social engineering at the center stage. About to go full circle when we turn the page. Miss Deborah Burks, you old bitch, putting COVIDs on obits and certificates. It's ridiculous.